I run across a lot of people that they have this myth in their head. They could do it by themselves. I'm gonna figure it out by myself. I think that's a ridiculous idea. That
Yeah.
if you're working hard on the wrong things, you're literally moving in the wrong direction.
Hard work alone will not get you there.
The video you're about to watch is just a small segment from a much longer and more in-depth interview that's included inside my new digital program, The 10 Commandments of Wealth. Click that link and get your name on the 10 Commandments of Wealth early action guest list. When you do, you'll secure your invitation to a private and live webcast discussion with me. You'll also become eligible to get your copy of the 10 Commandments of Wealth 10 days early. Click that link, get your ass on the webcast. I'll see you inside.
Today I get the pleasure of chatting with Forrest Griffin. Forrest is a former UFC light heavyweight champion, UFC OG. You're the first. You were the first
Ultimate Fighter winner, yeah.
First Ultimate Fighter, arguably the best.
I mean, yeah, I'll argue that. That's gotten me most of the things I've gotten in life, so it's been pretty good.
And your current position, it's a lengthy title, and I'm going to botch it. You're the vice president of
Athlete development at the UFC Performance Institute, yeah.
So you're helping you built. I've been to the Apex Center for events, and I see that's the building next to it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So they don't allow peasants like myself in there. You got to be be somebody.
You know a guy. We can get you in there. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we can get you in there. Yeah, it's a pretty cool space. Again, just real quick, what we do is we, it's a holistic approach to integrating every service. And what I mean by that is physical therapy, strength and conditioning, sports dietetics. It's a weight class sport. Performance psychology now, or sports psychology. How do all those things integrate in your actual technical training, in your actual fight training, and how do they work to make you better in the octagon, right? So how do the sum of the parts make more than a whole, right? Something like that. You get the gist of it, right?
So help me understand. Is that my perception is that some fighters coming in that you got to work your ass off to even be considered in
Everybody
sports.
works hard.
Yep.
Turns out when you get to like a UFC level, everybody works hard. And you hear people say work smarter, not harder. That's not true either. You have to do both. Hard work and showing up. Honestly, when I did it, and some of the people you've talked to, it was enough. Now, just with the advances in training, with, as stupid as it sounds, with technology that's now on your phone, everybody has the opportunity to improve at a faster rate, especially in a new and evolving sport like MMA. So it's hard work, it's intent, and it's plan, a structure, and intelligent work. That's something, routine, systems, whatever it is. What are you trying to attain, and how do you get there, as opposed to I'm going to show up and work real hard and I'm going to do whatever the coach says. Well, we have a weird sport. It's like a lot of the best athletes in the world are, to an extent, their own coaches, are deeply involved with their coaching philosophy. I wouldn't say that was different than a LeBron James or Michael Jordan or any of the NBA high achievers, like amazing guys. They dictate the strategy to some extent, right? And they work with the coach to determine the strategy, as opposed to if you think about college ball players, they are getting told the strategy.
Gotcha. I run across a lot of people that they have this myth in their head that they could do it by themselves. I'm gonna figure it out by myself, or I'm gonna work hard and I'll get the same results that I'll get optimal results just because I'm willing to work hard.
Right.
And you just threw that one under the bus real early in our chat here. That I think that's a ridiculous idea. That if you're working hard on the wrong things, you're literally moving in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, hard work's not enough. And then, something else we didn't come up to yet is now you have to find those people that actually know how to guide you in the right direction. I was very fortunate in my career, I had a guy named Adam Singer, Roy Singer, early on, and then in the kind of the middle of my career, I just kind of do what Randy Couture did, He's an amazing athlete, an amazing person, a competitor across all, spectrums, and, kind of just to see, okay, there's a plan, this is what he's doing. He's got an intent for the day, an intent for the week, an intent for the month, This is what we're trying to achieve by this fight date, right? Mm-hmm. So hard work alone will not get you there anymore.
One of my biggest foibles early in life is I had a lot of what I call negative role models, but I didn't have very many. I didn't have any positive role models to speak of. So, negative role model I define as somebody that where I grew up, you see people that maybe had a drug addiction, and you seen the outcomes that they were experiencing because of that behavior, and it'd be like, well, I'm not going to do that shit.
Yeah.
So it made some clear impressions in my head of like, oh, drugs is not a good path.
Well, yeah, I mean, but again, you learn from other people's mistakes. That's not the worst thing I've ever heard. To have a role model and to realize that, like you did, is like, that's not actually a role model. That's a what not to do model. Like, that's all right. If I'm gonna destroy my life, that'll work. So yeah, you didn't have okay, but what is the person that went to school, did this, started their own business, or created some technology, or Lord knows what today. But yeah,
I spent a lot of years trying to make myself useful to other people that had a better plan in their head, that would be a good coach, a good teacher, a good mentor to me. And there's this other nonsensical idea that just because you want to work hard, that you're somehow automatically somebody is supposed to donate their time to mentor you or to coach you, etc. I found it. A lot of high quality people were more willing to share their time and their wisdom with me when I was proactively thinking, how can I help that person? What could I do to help them?
That's a great point.
How can I help them accomplish their goals?
I was just lucky. I just have a great personality, and people just want to help me. It's how it's always worked for me. Not forced. Maybe they feel bad for me. Who knows? But people have always been, I've been a lot luckier that have been unlucky with, mentors, role models, people like that. I will say, though, the older you get, the weirder that, I'm older than you are, the weirder that mentor, role model kind of thing is. It's like, do I really need somebody at this point in my life,
I do.
Well, I think then it becomes like, I need an advisor. I need a, kind of like a technical coach. So one of the things I'll tell you I'm not is a great technical coach. I'm a very good technical coach, but I know a lot of, and when I say technical, I just mean MMA coach, I know a lot that are way better than me. But I still have perspective. I'm still seeing what you're not seeing. And even if I can't do it, I can tell you your hand's not where you think it is, where you want it. And I think that's more the angle I look for now from people, is who has perspective and that objectivity, right? So I'm emotionally involved in this situation, whereas, this person's emotionally dispassionate, and they have the, perspective and objectivity to tell me, this is actually what's really happening. I know you think this, but this is what I see from afar. So maybe that's more of the, replaces the mentor role, either for me, or maybe I'm just an arrogant bastard that thinks I don't need anybody.
Anything new that I want to learn, I want to find the best people in the world that could help me do that. And anything that I'm going to spend my time or my energy, willpower focused on, I want to find the best coach, the best trainer that I could reasonably have access to, or unreasonably have access to, and find a way. If you can't get access to the people you want to get access to in the world, the answer is up your value. The answer is make it easier for them, make it in their selfish best interest to want to spend time with you. Make it in their selfish best interest to want to help you with something.
What's in it for them?
I always
people
think
want to help, but they also want it to be a reciprocal relationship at some point.
Anything that I want, I spend about a second thinking about what I want, and then I got to spend the rest of my time saying, who could help me with that, and how can I help them that it's a win-win, that it's a win-win for the both of us. And that's where the answer is to those things, in my opinion. But I think anything that you try to figure out by yourself, man. I had that. This was just a misery in my childhood, and I'm kind of sensitive about it, honestly. But I had to do a lot of things through guess and check. I was in charge of the house early, and my dad wasn't there. My mom was kind of a mess, etc. And I didn't want to be in charge of the house when you're fucking 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that. That's not a fun time, And I just thought that was, guess and check landed me. I was always suspended from school. I was always in detention. I was always getting into fights, and just unnecessary frictions and troubles because I knew what like average people or below average people were telling me was a bunch of bullshit, but I didn't have a path to do significantly above average myself yet, And later on, when I found, again, good teachers, good coaches, good trainers, good mentors, that helped shortcut that a hell of a lot for me. That I'd still be fumbling around by myself if I didn't have a few of those key people in my life, you know?
Where did you find them? Like, you know, where did you find those things? Like, where did you personally find them?
Well,
Because I haven't found them. I'm looking, no, I'm kidding.
Books helped a lot. When I didn't have anything else, I had books. And then, you know, books start putting some frameworks in your head about how to think like a reasonable person and how to understand arguments or dissect arguments and how to be a better communicator. Reading helps you be a better, you know, or verbal communicator as well as a written communicator. And
how do you go from there to where, like, what was like the process of finding the people? For me, I'll tell you mine real quick. It was sports and coaching. I was very fortunate. I had some very good coaches. And that's why I value the role I have now and, you know, sports like in school. For me, it was the coaches. I tried hard in school, but I'm not like an intelligent person, just naturally. You know, I'm very pretty well spoken, but, you know, I can't like look at something and know it. But, you know, I could understand a physical movement pattern or, you know, rehearse. Okay, I could figure that out. And then I was willing to put the work into it. And that's, again, what you're talking about. No coach ever doubted my work ethic or my desire to do what they told me. And I think that's what endeared me to them. And that's why I was so fortunate to pick up so many good coaches and mentors through the year. But that was like, you know, that's one path, that athletic path of finding your mentor, your purpose. How did you find it, like in a business purpose and a financial purpose? Because I'm still looking for that.
I think you got a few social resources. You could
you
could meet a lot. You could meet a lot of people if you care to. You know, first thing I thought regarding that, specifically what you said, is that if you're fortunate enough to meet somebody and have a you know 15 seconds or a couple hours with somebody that you could learn things from, follow the goddamn advice. Don't just say. I hate it when somebody asks me, you know, Derek, how should I blah blah blah, and I take time out of my life that I should be doing something else. And I take time out of my life and I say, you know, first you need to do this, read that book, do this, you know, come and talk to me again. And then you run into that person later in life and they ask you the same damn thing. I said, well, did you do the thing I asked you to do last time? I said, no, I didn't do the thing.
So next time.
So why the fuck are you talking to me?
Next time, charge them for the advice and be like, if I give you free advice,
I learned that lesson.
You're not going to take it. So
people that pay attention.
You know, you've assigned a value to it. Now that I've assigned a value to doing a thing, it's like, oh, I paid that money. I got to go follow through. Yeah. Like, I paid the money for the guy to tell me the thing. I'd be an idiot not to do the thing. Whereas if you just tell me the thing, I was like, that's probably.
I made sure that I was never that person to other people. That if there was somebody that I respected, that they granted me, you know, a minute of their life to share some wisdom with me, and I respected that person. And I knew they had my best interest in mind. I'd make sure I go do the damn thing before I go talk to them again, you know?
Derek Moneyberg presents the 10 Commandments of Wealth.
In my adult life, I haven't been afraid of asking for help, all through people who are kicking ass and doing it. Not through books necessarily, not through these things, but through people who are actually living it.
20 interviews from the clients, 10 training modules, the 10 Commandments of Wealth, the 10 things that you must know to create some wealth. Champion interviews, champion after champion after champion.
The best fighters in the world. Even as an amateur, as a teenager, I was already sparring with, you know, championship level fighters. And
I think we'll get along really well because we have the same mentality. I'm very hard to trust someone.
Your life's already paid for. Why do you go out of your way to make a relationship with me and go through these mentoring courses?
When I first heard about your course and it became available, for me it was a God-given opportunity. I actually felt very, very blessed.
You can't help people who don't want to be helped. So we only want to be around the ones that want to be helped. Most people didn't inherit the wealth, and those who are at a higher level and see someone like grinding and wanting to get up in life, like, we'll help you up as long as you want to be helped.
Can you be a good investor if you can't read the quarterly statements, annual statements?
It's impossible. How do you know what you're investing in? How do you know what stock you're buying? How do you know what it's worth if you can't read those financial reports?
I made more this last year than I've ever made in a given calendar year.
The Moneyberg programs helped me to increase my entrepreneurial income by 349% from 2020 to 2021. Furthermore, the real estate riches increased my rental income by 33%.